I was inspired yesterday, Billy Boy. I had a gentleman about 70 years of age, 65 years of age, a European descent, walk into the office and ask me what yield was, Y-I-E-L-D. I was so impressed that someone could come in vulnerable and just ask the question. So today we're going to talk about this, the little black book, the guide to real estate terms. Stay tuned.
Retell the story. So, an old European guy comes into the office yesterday, and he's saying, "Mr. Novak, what does yield mean?"
He goes, "Can you tell me this yield? I see always on the ad the yield. What is this?" And I said, "Oh, yield, like that's the income, that comes in on the property." He goes, "What, for a month, for a year?" I go, "Oh, that's for a year." And I said, "Then you divide that over the value of the property, like what it's worth." And he's like, "Go to the calculator?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Get the calculator, get it out." He goes, "Okay, the income over the year and over the price of the property." And I said, "Yeah, that's right. And then that's a percentage." He goes, "Let's do it together." And we do the yield together. And he goes, I go 5.3% yield. He goes, "Is that good a yield?" I go, "It's not bad." He goes, "And the residential and the commercial, the yield different?" I go, "Yeah, we did together." But what I really admired, Billy Boy, is this is a man of 65, 70, not embarrassed to ask the question, gone his whole life and not realized what it actually means, and had the strength to walk into a real estate and ask the question.
I love that as well. But yeah, the little black book, it wasn't the whole reason we made this book, but it definitely serves the purpose of answering these questions. So
read that?
Yeah,
it's focus. There you go, focus. All right, tell us about it, Billy Boy.
A little more of a close-up, because we've got a lot of terms to go through. So this is Real Estate for Idiots. Now we're going to do 30 seconds, 10 seconds on each.
Yep. First term.
Agistment.
I actually don't even know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
What's registment?
The leasing of land for grazing. Typically, the owner of the property allows a person to graze animals on their land for a fee. Bang. We both learned something.
Bank valuation?
Valuation is the bank's estimate of the property's value before they provide unconditional approval. We'll leave it at that.
What's interesting with bank valuations, I'm noticing they're doing it digitally now. They don't even walk through. Pretty scary. I used to lose a week getting a valuation from a bank valuer to walk through. Now, bang, snap, it's done.
So yeah, you can have a desktop evaluation and you can have a quick walkthrough generally. Yeah. Capital gains tax. Are you going to do it or mine?
You do it.
Capital gains tax on the profit from the sale of an asset. If you sell a property for a greater price than you paid, then you have a capital gain.
Hey, seller's market. A seller's market refers to the condition where it's advantageous as an owner to sell the property. Seller's market are often identified when there is a shortage of available properties. At the moment, we're a buyer's market. Next one.
Depreciation. Depreciation is the decline in value of a property over time. The reduction of value is typically calculated based on age, deterioration, and wear and tear.
Zoning. Zoning is a way of classifying how land is to be used in a particular area. Zoning laws are determined by local governments and generally classify the operational use of land in specific categories such as residential.
Yep, we get this one a lot. What does exchange of contracts mean? So an exchange of contracts occurs when the buyers and sellers swap signed legal contracts. The buyer pays a deposit, and then once those contracts have been signed, they are legally binding. And if that's an unconditional exchange, the property is sold.
Rent vesting. Rent vesting is a strategy of purchasing a property as an investment while living in a rental property yourself. Interesting. Rent investors typically rent an area that they like, but might not be able to afford, while owning an investment property in a more affordable area.
I quite like that.
That's probably my favorite one for the moment. Rent investing.
Rent vesting. And it's not all grey then, so you can live wherever you want.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to
The property.
buying a property when you can, where you can, just getting it done for the first one, and then holding on to it. You can live wherever you want. Gazumping. Gazumping is a phrase used to describe the situation where a seller accepts a buyer's offer only to reject it in favor of a higher offer from a last-minute buyer.
Boom. Depreciation. Depreciation is the decline in value of a property over time. This is a big one. This reduction in value is typically calculated based on age, deterioration, wear and tear of a property and its fittings, fixtures and equipment. For tax purposes, an investor can offset an investment property depreciation from their taxable income. If you get good depreciation on a place, you will nail it tax-wise. So it's a good one to watch out for.
And do you think picking a property, like you can have a good depreciation property and then you can have a good property for other things like maybe capital growth?
Yeah. And look, typically new properties have great depreciation because they're right at the beginning of the curve.
So different style of buying, but maybe if you're an investor, someone a little bit savvy on the old tax, you might be looking at something off the plan.
Yeah, you may be like a high income earner and you go, you know what? I need to do the new thing because the depreciation's good.
Yep. Okay. Honeymoon rates. A honeymoon home loan is a temporary offer that provides a loan to a customer at a lower interest rate for a specified period. This could be anywhere between 6 months and a year. That's interesting.
This one here is a reverse mortgage. A reverse mortgage. A reverse mortgage is a type of loan that uses your property as a security in exchange for a lump sum. So instead of selling the property for cash, you just get a reverse mortgage for cash. A regular income or a line of credit, interest and fees are charged on a reverse mortgage. However, repayments are not required.
Right.
Until the home is sold. At the stage, that's when the loan's repaid in full. Reverse mortgages are often used by older homeowners to access the equity in their homes without selling and are repaid when the owner moves into an aged care or passes away.
Now, I've heard some kind of scary things about those things, reverse mortgages. Any horror stories, or do you think they're okay?
The thing I like about a reverse mortgage is, say your property's worth $2 million and you're borrowing $1 million, 500,000, you're going to spend that over 10 years, say 50 grand a year.
Yeah.
You've actually still got the $2 million asset going up.
Okay.
As opposed to sometimes they'll sell that $2 million property, buy a $1.5 million property, agent's fees, stamp duty, and they've only got a $1.5 million asset going up over 10 years.
Okay. So nothing to be too scared about, just obviously get the right advice.
Well, if it's going into a poker machine,
yeah,
you're in trouble. Hang on, we've got Lisa Novak here. Together again.
It's like we only just left.
So hard to find this info, guys.
Yeah.
Now, guys, simple real estate buy. This
awesome.
little black book, what we're reading this out, we're gonna go out with a couple of cracker terms in a second. But if you do want the guide for real estate, the little black book with the A to Z of everything in it, just private message us and we can send this to you. We've got a digital format, we've got a hard copy format, whatever you like.
And it's also at every open home.
We'll pick it up at your open, we'll pick it up at the office. Yeah.
Wherever.
Yeah.
Interest only loan. So allows borrowers to pay only the interest cost without reducing the loan balance. An investment only loan usually runs for a set period, such 5 years, and then converted to a principal and interest loan. So that means you can't just pay the interest off indefinitely.
Yep. You probably hear the word private treaty a lot. It's a very technical word. Private treaty property sale is when the property is offered for sale, usually with an advertised price or range Potential buyers can submit the offer to the seller with a real estate agent handling the negotiation. Ivy,
Hello.
how are you? Want to come in on camera?
Land tax,
Ivy, look.
annual
Look,
state.
Vanessa's
Oh,
here.
we've got a guess.
This is our secret weapon.
You're gonna have to.
Oh, my
We're going to put the bar over her eyes so you don't know who she is. But this is our secret weapon who comes and does accounts
Morning.
early in the morning, like a ninja. Vanessa Ball, how are you, V?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You're in
Hi,
nice and
Billy.
early.
8 o'clock.
We're doing real estate terms to a guide. Well, Realestate for Idiots, we called it today. What do you think about? You got any terms that confuse you in real estate?
No, not really. I mean, as long as you keep up with all the legislation and everything that's going on and all the changes that they're making, it's all good.
Do you know what a bridesmaid suburb is? Neither do I.
No, I am an idiot with that one.
Billy, what's a bridesmaid suburb?
Let me tell you, one that considered
Thanks.
that's considered an alternate to the most popular suburb in the area. That's harsh. That's pretty
really?
harsh.
Okay.
Wow.
Say it again.
So, a bridesmaid suburb is one that's considered an alternative to the most popular suburb in the area. Bridesmaid suburbs generally extend outward from the extremely popular suburb that has very few properties available for sale.
Okay. So Northern Beaches, bridesmaid suburb.
Probably Manly.
So hang on.
Oh no,
Manly.
Manly's the wife.
Is the so the bridesmaids would be Fairlight,
Yeah.
Queenscliff, Freshwater. Another example would be
Curly.
Eastern Suburbs, Double Bay. Then your bridesmaid suburbs around that would be Edgecliff. You know, those sort of areas.
I think it's a suburb that offers similar lifestyle.
Yeah.
Similar lifestyle, not too far away.
A bridesmaid suburb. That's my favorite. That's my favorite one for today on the real estate terms. Now, capital gains tax.
Yes.
Before we go, let's make that the last, second last, whatever you want. Capital gains tax is a tax on the profit from the sale of the asset. If you sell the property at a greater price than what you paid, you have made a capital gain in Australia. The principal place of residence or family home is usually exempt from capital gains tax. It's a bit more to it, but everyone refers to capital gains tax, and that's what it is.
I think that's the show. We've definitely picked out the best ones there.
Yeah.
But yeah, make sure you pick up your own little black book.
Yeah.
And even for people that have been doing the game a long time, you find terms that you won't know.
Well, look at Vanessa. Vanessa's been in the real estate for over 15 years, and myself, and I didn't know what the word bridesmaid suburb actually meant. So yeah, it's it just goes to show. And there's emerging terms. There's terms that people are getting just comfortable with that have never really been coined out there at the moment. So it's pretty cool.
That's like Eshe, but
I love that word.
Not real estate.
And in the book, my favorite ad's in there. Look at that one. Look, when you're with Novak, you get in front of a bigger audience. Look at that. Our socials reach out to over 3.1 million eyeballs every 28 days. Big numbers.
A lot of eyes.
Love you,
hang on, we've got a question.
Yes.
I've got peeps messaging me on my socials. Yes. Yeah, they're popular.
Yeah,
they're very popular.
They've actually, we had our media team put it together without, just out of nowhere, not even asking. And it's exploded. So it's done really well. It's very popular at open houses. I think we forget or take for granted our knowledge. So it's good to see it. Billy Bob,
Have a
Billy
good
Boy,
day.
everyone, thanks for watching.
Ciao.
What are we doing with our
We're going to roll
rolling
out. Yeah,
Let's roll out.
Roll out. Rolling out.
Rolling out, Billy Bob.